All right, it's recording. So, Sabrina Alento Mourão, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm actually going through changes, but I'm okay. But I'm fine.
Amazing, amazing. So, I was saying your name, but I believe that not mm, many of my students know your name and know what you do and know who you are. So, please introduce yourself, talking about where are you from? What do you do for a living? Who are you?
I'm Sabrinna. I'm a writer, but I also work as cultural producer. I help people to make their projects, to make culture happen here in Caruaru and around Pernambuco and other states. Um, mm, I think this is it.
All right, all right. And I don't know if you mentioned the city and the state that you were born.
Oh yeah, I'm from Parnaíba, Piauí,
All right.
and uh, I actually started to study English there when I was about 13 years old, in my early teens.
I see, I see. And you are mentioning something that I prepared here, which is tell me about your relationship with the English language, like courses and free time activities, your relationship with the language.
Mm. When I was younger, I really enjoyed listening to music to Linkin Park, and
Amazing.
I was so involved with the lyrics, and I wanted to understand what they were saying. I wanted to understand new words, and I well, I am very curious. I always have been curious, and I started reading, translate in the internet. Um, so I asked to my father to put me to, não sei como eu digo isso, me inscrever, assign me.
Yeah, or put me in a school, something like
I
that.
asked to my father to put me in an English school in my
Uh,
city. There was a very traditional English school
okay.
called Speak Up, and I started uh, taking classes in the vacations. I took an intensive course and fell in love because I really liked it. Always liked it, and it was very nice to meet people with similar interests, similar music tastes, and
Yeah.
to be in a place where you are learning together, because learning is such a lonely thing. And when you are in a class learning with other people, you not only learn the thing you are supposed to. I wasn't learning only the language. I was learning others people perspective about the world and how they communicate the things they think. It was very rich to me.
Amazing, amazing. I can relate in so many levels. You mentioned Linkin Park, and my cousin, and let me remember Everton. Everton, one of my cousins, he loved the band. He was listening to Linkin Park a lot, and then me and my brother, we admired a lot Everton because he's older, and we tend to think that older people are way cooler than we are, right? When we are 12, 10 years old or something like that. So we admired our cousin, and he loved Linkin Park. So me and my brother were like, Linkin Park must be awesome because my cousin is older and he must be awesome. So it was something like that, and we had our experiences with the language via through music, through entertainment, through movies. And the question that I have here, I want to listen to your stories. I want to listen to you mentioning names and all that. And after that, I'm gonna share a little bit about myself. But we have here the question: who are the artists, writers, musicians, directors, illustrators that constantly bring you back to the English language? Writers, musicians, artists, directors. Who are these in your life?
Hmm. I was expecting this question in a weird way
I see.
because uh, the artists I'm into today, I've been listening a lot to Björk, and she's an Icelandic singer and songwriter.
All right.
And the thing I like the most about Björk is that English isn't her first language, so she have so much accent,
I see.
and I think it's very interesting um, to listen to her because sometimes when we are learning a new language, we think that oh my god, uh, I I can't speak like a native, but even in Portuguese, now sometimes people you are talking this word wrongly. You have such a strong accent, but we have to think about um, language diversity. And I
True.
think when I listen to her, I think about this language diversity, and her accent is not though she have an accent. She can't speak English, but she speaks English the way she is supposed to with her background, and uh, I was thinking about this that you were going to ask this question, and I was thinking about some one time I tried to learn Russian in
Okay.
a school in Recife, in a public school in Recife.
All
So
right.
I was in this Russian class, and it was really, really hard. And the hardest thing wasn't to learn Russian. It was to learn Russian with Pernambucanos, with a very strong accent.
Uh,
So I couldn't understand things a lot because you have this extremely different language you're trying to learn, and these accents you aren't so familiar with
I see.
the Pernambucanos. And
I
it
see.
was very funny to me to realize that the most important thing when you are learning a language isn't the perfect um, way of talking, is not you you sound like a native, but you communicate. The main thing about talking isn't you speak all the words correctly. Even in Portuguese, the
Mhm.
main thing is you talk, the other person understands, and the communication happens. And this is the beauty, even in learning English, in learning Russian, or in talking in Portuguese. The diversity and the communication working, happening.
So true, so true. I gotta tell you, I was thinking about something that I was talking to other students, which is learning how to speak English or any other foreign language is like being part of the conversation, because just imagine this situation. Um, Something happened and like a riot or like a rebellion on the United States or
So
Canada.
extreme, so
Yeah,
dramatic.
yeah, yeah. But think about something like that. People will talk about it, and generations after this one, people will remind it and talk about it and all that. So when this kind of stuff happens and there are some news about it, there are some content about it, if you speak English and the situation happened in a speaking But an English speaking country, you would be like, okay, I can access this information, I can access these people's speeches about it and what they lived in that moment, what are they sharing about that, and you can have like a different perspective because you are having this one-on-one contact. There is no middle person to translate everything and then put it put it in Portuguese. And we know that when we translate something from one language to the other, at least to me, is like when you have the luggage, when you are flying to another country before you go to Brazil. Well, from Brazil to the USA, people will have to check your luggage, like your clothes, like your pants, and everything in your luggage. And they're going to see if everything's okay. Some things are not going to be able to go to the USA. Some things you need to live in Brazil, you know. And there are some products and other stuff that you can't always bring to another country. So I was trying to remember the word for this specific situation, but right now I'm not reminding it, but whatever, it's okay. I'll keep going explaining this situation. So your luggage that you had in Brazil will need to change something before you go to the US. So what I'm saying is when you are saying something in English and you want to put it in Portuguese, some things will be added or some things will be left behind. No? So something will happen there because we're talking about grammar and rules and specific cultural things and all that. One specific situation is the word miss, like saudade in Portuguese. We don't have saudade in English. So you have to do something different. You have to message when you translate from one to the other. So that's one situation. Portuguese is saudade, but you can put saudade in English. So you need to drop the word saudade and you need to add something different or change something along the way. So is right when you speak English, you can be part of the conversation. And when you are watching the news, when you are seeing people's videos speaking that native language where that accident or incident or situation happened, you will have this first person contact and things will be different just from this contact, at least in my perspective, from my perspective. And another analogy or situation for us to kind of visualize this situation was once I was in a bus here in Caruaru and I saw some people who know how to speak Libras, you know, how to use this language Libras. So I was looking at these people having that communication and I couldn't understand anything, anything. And I was really curious because you said that you are really curious. So I am really curious as well. And I was like, yo, these people may be talking about someone is in love with some other people, that people is terrible, that people is egocentric, they could be saying anything, but I don't understand anything from this conversation. So I felt like I'm not a part of this conversation. I'm not part of this conversation. So that's how I feel when we are talking about learning a new language. And English, right? At least currently in our world, English is like the lingua franca, the language that many people use on scientific purpose and flights, when you're talking about airports, when we are talking about entertainment, Hollywood movies, and music, Grammys, yes, all that stuff. So English is really present in people's lives, especially on the West, right? We are in the West. So, especially here in the West, we are surrounded by English in so many situations. So, I feel that when you speak English and learn how to speak English and understand people speaking English, you are part of that situation or of that conversation, unlike I was when I was in Libras and people were using Libras. I was clueless. I didn't know anything what was happening there. And I felt like, yo, that's weird. I feel like a wall here. I feel like an insect here. I don't know. It's like people are not even realizing I am here because I'm not a part of that whole discussion, you know? So that's kind of the thing that I feel. I kind of relate. I don't know what you think about that.
While you were talking, I thought that I am someone that really enjoys spoilers, movie spoilers,
Uh-huh.
because it's when someone talk, uh, when someone say to me about the movie, the whole thing, I'm not really watching the movie. I'm just accessing the person's perspective about the movie. And when
Mhm.
I watch the movie, I'm actually watching twice, or three ways. I'm watching my perspective, the personal perspective, and the actual thing. So
True.
when you are in a translation situation, it's kind of like that. You're not really accessing the main information. You are accessing someone else's perspective about this, and you are making your own perspective through other person's perspective. You're not the doing the first perspective thing.
Mhm.
And that's something I really enjoy about knowing other language, because I can have my own perspective in the first place. uh, and I also can access others people perspective in other cultural backgrounds, and
Mhm.
it's interesting. I
Totally.
feel part of the conversation, if even if I'm not part of the conversation, even
Totally.
if I'm not talking, I'm hearing and I'm making my own thing about the thing that is happening, and it's very interesting to me.
Totally to me as well. And there is something else that I want to talk about. This same question I asked you about writers and musicians and illustrators, directors that are part of your journey, and especially your journey with the English language. If you can, if you want to mention other artists, please, you have.
Sure. uh, I was a very not disciplined student when I studied English. So I never, almost never did the exercises.
I
But
see.
I listen a lot of music, and I liked to read poetry in English.
Amazing.
So there was a situation where I went to the class. I didn't do the exercise, but I was reading an Emily Dickinson's book, bilingual Emily Dickinson's book, with the poetry in English and the poetry in Portuguese. And this week I learned so many new words, and
Amazing.
I went to the class and I spoke so much, and the teacher was, "Why are you talking with so many new words? You don't even did the exercise. How do you learn these things?" Well, I read, I listen to music, and there are so many ways that you can learn things and access
Totally.
things. And I really enjoyed reading Emily Dickinson's poetry. I tried to read Virginia Woolf novel. It was so hard. I
Amazing.
I always enjoyed to listen to music, so uh, I liked My Chemical Romance. I liked emo music, and I was really into it. And I learned so many words, and I could express myself because I could also access others people expressions, others people perspective, and words and things like that. I really enjoyed a movie director called Richard Linklater, the
All right.
one who did before. before sunset, before midnight, and before sunrise.
Okay.
And in a dark moment, I was into Woody Allen, but we don't talk about it.
All
Um,
right. We try.
I I don't know. I was really into those things, and I like it to uh, watch things with subtitles. And I was, hey, this isn't what the person just said. I
I,
wouldn't translate like that.
I see.
Uh,
I know how
and
it is.
it was very nice
I feel it.
to, I don't know, I think music is something that you can do in your everyday, in your routine, that can really help you to access these things, to help you learn new words, to um, can help you to communicate.
True, true,
And it
true,
was
true.
something that I was really into and helped me a lot when I was not doing my exercise.
I totally understand. Well, you said something so amazing because you helped me understand and put in words what some of my students do. Because I have two students that I had oral oral tests yesterday, and one of the students, I asked him before we started the oral test, did you review? Did you study what we are going to do right now? And he said, no. And I was like, okay, I appreciate the honesty. And when we were doing the oral test, he was amazing. He was amazing. And in other situations, when I asked him, man, what do you do during the week? What do you do regarding the language? What do you do with the language? And he's always playing RPG. He's always listening to music. He's always um, checking memes out. And well, remember that me and you we share some memes here and there, right?
It's
You
the best way to learn a language. Share memes.
I totally agree. And I was like, yo, he's like you. He did almost the same thing as you did because he didn't review. He wasn't like so pragmatic about it, so rational. So I don't know, this disciplined. He wasn't that. However, he interacts with the language in his free time when there is no deadline, when there's no pressure, when there's no people to impress, and he just loves it. And that's
But
amazing.
this is nice because I think everyone has a different way of learning. And when you are teaching, sometimes you think the only way someone can learn a language is through grammar. But
True,
that's not true. You can learn some uh, things in different ways. And
true.
it's very interesting when you stimulate people to learn the way they already do learn. I wasn't a pragmatic student, but
I see.
I was an artistic student.
Mm,
I was really passionate about the culture, about the poetry, about novels, about movies, and I was so immersed, so into the art, and I was um, in touch with this language every day through art. And I think sometimes it made my my background, the way I communicate, so rich
mhm.
that grammar can't do this in
I see.
this little box.
I
I
totally,
can't be inside this little box because there's a world with poetry and music and movies. And why will I do this? Ugh, please.
amazing, amazing. Well, we're talking about people, souls, stories, and we are always interested in the next story, in the next mystery, in the next thing that will amaze us and will make us
Yeah.
feel alive and will make us feel wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I felt alive when I was listening to this music, and I could understand every word, and I could understand background, and I could understand the patterns of the writing,
I
and
see.
it amazes me, and oh,
Me too, me too, me too.
it was way better than study grammar. Come on, you know that.
Totally, totally. That's the way I got here. That's the way I got here. I loved the language ever since I was like 12, 13. To me, at first, it was like a secret language because I don't know where. I don't know where. I don't know if it was watching Luluzinha or something like that, right? Because there were some cartoons and situations like that they had a secret language for them to speak with their group, and other people outside of the group don't understand anything. There was something like that. And when the teacher, it was a woman, she was like 50 years old and she was really strict. She had the glasses and all that, and she put her hands behind her back and really like this, looking at us, really serious, and she started speaking English. So some people felt like they were being pressured, or they felt like they were not, well, connecting to it. However, when I saw that she was so confident and she was speaking that language, that I was like, yo, this seems like a secret language that just people that are part of the group will understand. So I want to be part of the group. I want to understand. So my first contact with the language, when I saw other persons speaking the language, was a woman, a teacher, when I was in the fifth grade, and her name is Marlucy. It could be just another lesson. It could be just another day when I was 13, 14, I don't know. However, it wasn't another day, just another day. It wasn't just another lesson. It was a contact that I was like, yo, that's so cool.
Well, you, as you were talking, I was thinking about the actual first contact I had with English. And my mother, she really enjoys flashback music.
I
And
see.
the flashback music is like, I don't know, Bon Jovi or
Uh-huh.
Eurythmics or Aha. So I was always, while I was growing, she was always listen to this music and so fun and
Uh-huh.
having dancing and having fun. And she was
Uh-huh.
so into that, and I was, oh, I want to know what kind of magic uh, goes on her when she listens to that. And it's funny because she can't speak English, but the
Mm,
music is very involving to her. But
totally.
I was interested not on the music thing, but what they are communicating. And is this music really happy? Why
I,
is she dancing? And
um,
sometimes it was such a sad music about, I don't know, breakups or death, and she was, ooh, and I was, ooh, do you know what is this about?
Amazing, amazing. Well, it's like music communicates feelings, right? Communicates vibes, and it seems like it resonates with our souls, right? Um, I have a stepfather, right, that he just loves to listen to that kind of music. I mean, weekly, in a weekly basis, he listened to every word you say, every move you take, from Brian Adams, and there's another one, Voyage, Voyage. He
I
loves,
love Voyage
right,
Voyage.
right, right. And
And
there's,
I hate the French. I tried to learn French because of this music, and I just couldn't. It's
well,
such a hard language.
yeah, yes, there are so many things that are different from the Portuguese and from the connection that we have with the English language.
The way you have to move your tongue, the mouth, the
Yeah,
throat, it's extremely hard to me. It was easier to learn Russian than to learn
then
French,
French.
you know?
Yeah, I see, I see. And well, I was just thinking about it since you talked about your mother's relationship with the flashback English songs, and she doesn't speak English. My stepfather doesn't speak English as well. However, he just loves, and he feels something like his own vibe, his own thing with Voyage Voyage and many other songs. You know? And before we move on from this question, because there's something amazing that I was thinking about the same question, writers, artists, and all that, which is the questions that I have here for you. I was thinking about them and I was like, yo, these questions, I would love people to ask me those questions because I believe that it talks so much with an artist and with another person and the other person's stories and all that. And I gotta tell you, if I was talking about the artists, the illustrators, the musicians that kind of built who I am, and I'm talking about a human being and also as an artist. Like, if we could take an X-ray from my soul, I am sure there would be Joji, there would be Bo Burnham from Inside, right? Do you remember this special on Netflix from 2020? The special Inside from Bo Burnham. Do you remember it?
Mm, maybe, but
Huh?
I've watched some of the his things and I really enjoyed. He's funny and ironic. I like
Yeah,
that.
right, right. And there's another one, Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, I just had contact with his content, I don't know, 4 years ago or 5 years ago. However, he's just so amazing. And I was thinking about why people and people that I don't even know, people from another country, are part of my artistic profile, artistic way of seeing the world, artistic way of putting myself in the world. And I was thinking, like, maybe artists are like the avatars, ideals of something specific. Like, I believe that to many women, there are some women from the movies and special the pop divas that are the avatars of courage, the avatars of personality, the avatars of I don't care what other people will think about my clothes or about what I'm saying or about what I think, what about what I do
About
in,
self-esteem.
yeah, my self-esteem and all that. So I was just thinking about it. Maybe artists are like the avatars for us to help us to connect and resonate with them. And they kind of help us to, man, you don't need to think about what other people will think when you say this, when you do this, when you express your feelings through a poem, through something like that. You need to believe in yourself and tell the story that you have inside you, man. Do it. So at least to me, it seems like some artists are these people for us. And especially when we are on our teenage years, some artists do for us what parents and close friends don't.
Okay, this is strong. Then a
Right?
strong opinion. While you were talking, I was thinking about cartoons. I haven't mentioned cartoons, and
Okay.
I'm actually a melancholy person. You know that, and I really enjoy BoJack Horseman and everything the director writes. I really enjoy, and it's very interesting because I've watched BoJack about 9 times,
Okay.
and while you are learning a language, you're not only learning to say words.
Mm-hmm.
You are also learning this country background, and
True.
I and it's so hard when you see um, um, some subtitles and you think, oh, I wouldn't translate like that, and the jokes they try to translate and just don't fit. And it's nice when you can access those jokes in the original language and you understand the background. It's fine. It's really a great feeling.
Totally, totally. And there are some stages in our lives that we need. this kind of experience, this kind of reference, way more than others, right? Especially in our early years. Now, I have another one. Let me see. Okay, this one. What do you like about the English language and what you don't like about it? Or the fact that you need to speak it, you need to learn it, something like that. What do you think?
Hmm. 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 Uh, it's a hard question. It's really
I
difficult
see.
to think about the things I like and I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I like to, um, as I was saying, when you're in touch with this language, you also are in touch with the background. And I think in some ways, those countries are a little bit more progressive than ours. And these days, I'm like listening to Chaperone, and I think, oh, this is a lesbian reference I would like to have in my teens.
I
I
see.
think I wish I was a teenager, the lesbian teenager I was,
Uh-huh.
but having chaperone to listen to,
I
because
see.
it's interesting how they can openly talk about their sexuality, their
Mhm.
feelings, or race,
Mhm.
or womanhood, those things.
I
And
see.
the thing I don't like is because why do I have to go to this place to have some progressive thoughts? You know,
Right.
why do I have to be, um how can I say, hmm, why do I have to be cultural colonized to access those things? And so around me, I am one of the only person I know around me that can learn, can listen, can understand, can talk, can read in English
I see.
kind of fluently. And people around me don't catch the things I can catch. They don't get it. And I'm always trying to exercise my English, translating memes, translating poetry, translating music, and putting my perspective, and
I
it's hard to communicate sometimes because I have this colonized background, and sometimes it's hard to me to access other people's background because we are so different. I feel different from other people because of this passion I had about this language.
I see.
The way I dived into this language and this culture, and it makes me a little bit different from other people, and it's it's hard when you are around people that don't get it, not in a bad way, but I think, wow, I'm had such a privilege to learn a language, to understand those backgrounds, to read this poetry, to read those novels, to watching these movies and fully understand it is something, is a privilege when you learn this
Yes.
language. Is to learn any language is a privilege, and also
Agree.
you start to make connections, different connections when you are learning a language, and why people don't have these connections, and I try to describe these connections I'm making, and it's such a long story
Mm-hmm.
to translate these feelings, these connections, this everything, and it's something bad. I think it would be nice if everybody could learn any language, English or French, or because it expands your way of seeing life, your perspective.
I see. Well, I gotta tell you, beautifully said. For real, beautifully said. I was just thinking about what you said when you mentioned, well, I just wish I could access some references and some speeches and some experiences without having to be colonized. That's so powerful. That's so powerful and beautifully said. I gotta tell you, when I was kind of adding that to my story to see if I can relate to it, I was like, yo, when I was 12 years old, 8 years old, the games that I played on Super Nintendo and PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and GBA Game Boy Advance emulators, it was all in English. It was all in English. So it's like, okay, to have this dopamine feast, to have so much dopamine that I have, that I get from games, I will have to step in another land, in a foreign situation, in a foreign context, in a foreign language. I have to do it because I love games and I want to feel this feeling. I want to be there. I want to be part of the conversation of, oh, God of War 1, God of War 2, Super Mario, and this and that, and Pokemon Fire Red, Pokemon Leaf Green. So I was like, yo, I want to feel that. But to feel that, I have to step in a foreign ground, in a foreign land, you know? And well, we are talking about countries and languages. However, I was also relating the same idea and the same analogy to we live right now in Caruaru, and we are in the northeast part of Brazil, which is not that well spoken, at least when we are talking about the South, right? The South states. It's not that seen, it's not that mentioned, it's not that cherished. The artists are not that cherished. And sometimes we feel like, why do I need to send my book in São Paulo to be seen and to be cherished, to people to say like, yo, your product, or not product, like your art, this piece of your soul, which is your book, your art, this piece of your soul is so amazing. But people, or many people, will only feel that if my book is being mentioned in São Paulo, is being mentioned in Rio de Janeiro, is being mentioned in another situation that's not in the local community that I am part of, you know? So it's not just Portuguese, English to have some experiences. Sometimes it's moving from Caruaru to the south to be seen or to have other experiences and all that. And that's so frustrating as well, you know?
Yeah, and it was really interesting what you said, and it's also a kind of colonization when you
Yeah.
have to. These people have to, I don't know, say, oh no, so this book is art, this book isn't art. And when you are from Northeast, a lot of things aren't considered art
Mhm.
because it's made here. We are here and we live here. And, when I was younger in this cultural colonization fields,
Mhm.
I thought I wished to, I don't know, live abroad, to live in another country. But then I understood I just wanted to consume this art, to read these books, to listen to this music. I didn't really wanted to go away or abroad. I just uh, was trying to build my personality.
I see.
And
Amazing.
it's weird that this personality had to be a colonized one. But it's also okay because now I can understand what I really enjoyed about it. I enjoyed the feeling of I don't know, progression, or about freedom, or about being myself. It's something I really appreciated, and I just didn't know how to express. And it was possible through music, through this language, through learning. Learning is something that really makes me feel like myself. Every time I'm learning anything, I feel like I'm glowing.
I see, I see. Well, let me tell you another thing, which I was thinking here. Like, I forgot how to say it in English, like culto. Like,
Cool.
maybe, I don't know if we can use this word to.
Like aceita?
Yes, yes, right. Because some words have a meaning here and have another meaning there. I don't know if cult can be used like an
Coach é
adjective.
tipo aceita. It's like aceita.
Right, right. But I'm talking about erudito, something like
Mhm.
that, you know? So I don't know how to say it in English. However, we can get this idea. And I was thinking, many people, or at least some people, when they see writers or musicians or other people that like to take a look or listen to songs from Spain or movies from France or something like that outside of our local community, when some other people are seeing what these people do, what these artists do, these writers do, and all that, and say, they're like, okay, so you want to be the different one because you watched the French movie and because you were studying the history of Japan. So you want to say, or you want to be this, you want to be that. However, I can tell you something with a personal experience. I don't know if it's been 2 weeks or 3 weeks that I was on YouTube and I saw an interview from 1979 with one of the survivors of the Titanic, one of the survivors. And the,
So it's obvious you couldn't do it with the dead ones. You
yeah,
couldn't watch the interview with the dead ones.
yeah, okay, damn, you got me. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say in this situation, but I gotta tell you. I was taking a look at this interview and it was in English, so there was another situation that I was using the language and having this experience. However, that wasn't the biggest part of it. It was like he was describing so many things that happened that night. And it was 1912, April 15th of 1912, and he was 21, 24 years old. So in the interview, he was like 90, he was like 80, and he was describing some situations that happened that night. And he also said that every now and then, when he's sleeping, he gets nightmare. He has nightmares about that night, seeing what happened again, And even if he was 80 or 90, and the incident happened when he was 21, 24. So, seeing this interview, hearing what he was saying, taking a look at his facial expressions, it did something to me. Sometimes I think about it. I remember this interview. I remember his words, and I remember his facial expressions. So what I'm saying is, when you have the experience that you don't usually have in your local community in Brazil, when you have these kind of experiences, it does things to you. It's like some situations will change you in a good or in a bad way, but they will be with you. They
In a
will
deeply way.
yeah, they will do something with you. So that's why when we see people who read writers who are from, I don't know, Canada or from England or from another country and watch movies from a Ukrainian director or something like that, these experiences do things to us. So of course this person will say something that you will not hear every day in your everyday situation in Brazil, right? As you said, the gender topic in other countries is like maybe they have like 60 years of dealing with this situation, and it's like here we are in the year 2, in the year 5. So when you be in touch with writers who are living those situations or who live those other situations, this will do something to you. You will start seeing the whole picture in another from another perspective, right? Way different than a person who just lives, he just lives in a small city in Brazil, in the northeast of Brazil, and never heard or never had the experience with a foreign book, a foreign artist, a foreign writer, or something like that. So that's what I'm saying. When I was taking a look at that interview and I was focused, paying attention to what that guy said, it did things to me. It did things to me. So when people start to tell jokes about Titanic, now I will remember this dude. I will remember what other survivors said. And I will not be like just funny games making the telling jokes about Titanic because I was like, yo, okay, I understand the witty idea here. You were like intelligent for putting that word together with that other word. All right, I give you that. However, it changed me in a way. This that night did something to me because I was listening to a survivor and the thing was real. The thing was not a movie, the thing was not a joke, the thing was real. So of course I will say something different from my peers here in Brazil and my friends and my families because my family because they didn't have the same experiences that I did, you know.
This conversation is getting dark.
Yeah,
But
kind of. But I'm just saying,
it's very interesting because it's like you can bath in the same river twice because
yes.
the river changes it and you change it. It's the same
Mhm.
thing when you watch a movie or you watch an interview about a trauma.
Okay.
Is really life changing, those experiences. Even if it didn't happen to you, but to watch someone go through that, it's really moving.
Mm-hmm. True. Totally. 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 And that's why I was just mentioning how art and having the contact and be in touch with people from other countries and other cultures, it does things to you. It just uh, stays in some situations. It stays. So now we have a question. Tell us about your book, Blue Dream, its title, the story of the book. Tell us a little bit about
Hmm.
Blue Dream.
Well, mm, Blue Dream was released last year, and mm, it's a short book with some poetries. And I had so many references in English in the book, and I brought it to the readers.
Amazing.
Uh, and when I think about Blue Dream, I actually it's something kind of legal. So it's a reference to a weed strain,
All
but
right.
also is a wordplay with the meaning of blue dream, some melancholical thing, some melancholical dream or experience, and it's kind of blur and things like that. And the reference I bring to the book is mainly music.
I see.
I was listening to Beach House a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
it was this experience that we had talked about. It's not only the music thing that go through your soul, but the lyrics, and
Sure.
to listen to read those lyrics and to feel the poetry in those lyrics and think, well, it kind of matches with the thing I want to say and bring it together It's very nice. And I wasn't. I had. I hadn't think that it's it is a book with many English references. I hadn't think it until a friend
I see.
say that to me, and I was wow, yes, yeah. Yeah, I thought I couldn't translate the feeling in Portuguese, so I tried to make this word play. Uh, Blue Dream that referenced it to the red strain, but also to this feeling and this kind of sad emotions. And in the book, I try to um, how can I say to make this feeling stronger, bringing those references, those music references, these poetry references, because it's not uh, when I write, it's not only about the thing I want to communicate, it's not only about the story I want to tell, but it's also come on, it needs to have a soundtrack, you
Totally,
know.
totally.
And
I
I
see.
like to bring it to the readers so they can also feel this feeling with me, to listen to this music and go through this emotion and go through this poetry, this story with me fully, the
I see.
full experience, not only the experience I want them to feel, I want them to really feel it.
Leave it with you, right?
Yeah, it's like you're not reading my book, you're drinking a coffee.
I
So with
see.
me.
Amazing, amazing. And well, before I go to another question, since we are talking about books, are you working on the next one? Mm, what
Mm.
can you say something about it or not yet?
Well, kind of, I think the work with literature, it never ends. It is
Yeah,
a eternal work in progress. And
totally.
while I'm writing, I'm finishing and I'm starting, and I am writing something for about 5 years now. And
Hmm.
I'm, and the thing about writing something for so many years is that I am uh, meeting and learning new things. I am meeting new bands. I'm knowing new bands. I'm knowing new writers, and I can bring it to the book I'm writing. And it's something I like about writing. It never ends. You can publish your thing, but yeah, just in the second the book is done, you look, oh, I could have done better.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah, yeah. I totally understand. Artists are just like that. And there's a musician here in Caruaru, one of my friends, and he's also like that. I totally understand. But now, we got into a session. We are like walking and reaching the end of the conversation for now. However, the section that we got is one that some people do make content about it and make memes about it, something like that. And the idea is I'm going to ask you questions that will have two options, and one is terrible and another one is horrible, so you need to
oh,
choose. You need to like choose one. Not every time, sometimes will be one will be amazing and the other one will be beautiful, but you just have to pick one. So
okay, let's do it.
all right, let's get it. So the first one is, would you rather have the ability to move things with your mind or the ability to read people's minds?
Uh, Move think that it will be a totally help to read people's minds. I don't even like to read my own mind. Why would I do that?
One of my students told me, "Teacher, I'm not dealing with my own problems. How would I be dealing with people's minds?"
Yeah.
All right, yes, you have a point there. Well, would you rather never be able to go out during the day or never be able to go out during the night?
Mm, it's a really difficult one.
Right?
I'd rather die. Well, I guess I would rather never go out during the day. It's so hot.
I see. Yeah, true, true, true. And I can see that you are one of those people that likes to be at home, work at home, interact with people at home, right? Because we know some people that if they could, they would be in a party every day, right? Some people are just like that, and I'm not,
I'm the opposite.
right? Right. But now we have another question. Would you rather fight a crocodile or a bear? Tell us.
Hmm. Maybe a crocodile because I could make a purse.
I see. All right. I see souvenir, but have
Yeah.
souvenir of the battle. All right, all right. Now, the last one of this kind of question. Would you rather be able to see 10 minutes or 150 years into the future?
Wow. Probably 150 years in the future.
All right. Wow.
It's
Wow.
like I was reading in uh, dystopia.
I
Like
see.
I'm reading Philip K. Dick.
I see. All right. All right. All right. Now, we have some questions that are about your personal daily life, and one of them is, are you a great singer?
I wish.
Me too. Me too. I
I'm
am.
not, but I still sing because I'm I don't know. I enjoy music and I
Me
like
too.
to vocalize.
Amazing, amazing. That's true. That's true. Vocalizing. And well, are you an awesome cook, like a master chef cook?
I'm like a medium chef
Okay.
cooker. I really enjoy
All
cooking, but people like my food. But while I'm cooking, then I don't get hungry anymore, and
right. I see. I see. What do you like to do in your free time?
I like drinking coffee,
Mm-hmm.
talking to my friends a
Mm-hmm.
lot, talking to people I don't know at all or know very little.
All right.
Um, Definitely listening to music.
Amazing. And
Absolutely.
right, and that's the question. What kind of music do you like?
Mm, I like rock. 1 minute.
Okay.
Fala com a Pérola. Pérola. Well, my dog is talking to dogs neighbors.
No problem. He's being part of the conversation.
Uh, I like rock music. I like electronic. I like
Okay.
experimental music. I like a lot of kind of music. I don't know why. I think I like every kind of music.
No
But
problem.
some kind of music I listen more than others.
You see, well, we have this question here. Has your choice of free time activities changed over the
Well, not at all. I When I was younger, I really enjoyed to read in my free time. It's changed a little bit because I don't read so much these days.
Mhm.
But I think I enjoy. Well, I think I go walk through many arts, and sometimes I'm reading more, sometimes I'm listening to music more, sometimes I'm just watching movies, and it's is mm, changing through the years. It's not something. Um, it's, I don't know. I
All right.
I go with the flow of the arts.
Amazing, amazing. Me too. And we have two questions that are like really quick, and then we are gonna have two that you need to think a little bit about. But about the quick ones, do you play games? Do you like it?
Well, not really. I'm not a gamer,
All
but
right.
I started to play some board games with my girlfriend. It's not something I'm really into, but oh, the woman say, I obey.
I see, I see. Now, another one is there any country that you'd like to visit? Someday?
Probably Mexico because
All
of
right.
the food.
Okay, okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Hmm. We have, let me just count here. Okay, okay, let me see. All right, we have this one that's kind of quick, which is what's something you've always wanted to know how to do, like a skill or something you would like to do that you think it is amazing doing.
Hmm. I can't think about something I would like to do that I don't. I think everything I want to do, I already do.
Amazing.
Well, in my teens, uh, I played many instruments. I played guitar, I played the drums, I played um, cello. I, oh, I would love to learn how to play keyboards.
Okay.
Whoa, I love keyboards. I love synth. I love synth, and I love synth rock, synth music, and I would love to learn how to play. Oh,
Me
I
too.
wouldn't go out of my home if I had a synth.
I see. I see. Me too, because Bo Burnham plays keyboard.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love it. Now we have the last two questions, and you can take your time to think about, to ponder on, and to share what you think about it. One of them is what would you do if you won $1,000? What would you do?
Hmm. I would probably
Like,
buy some snack,
all
a
right.
really delicious one, and invest.
I'm sorry, eBest. I didn't.
Invest, save this money.
Okay, I see. I see. Amazing. All right. All right.
I don't like to spend a lot of money. It's not like me.
Me neither. Me neither. I totally understand. We need to ponder on before we spend money because it's
Mm.
not easy to make money. So
I think I would take some English conversation classes.
amazing, amazing, amazing. But do you have like a plan? Like, I want to travel. I want to do this. I want to do that. Do you have like this kind of plan, or it's just you love to do it?
Mm. Well, I'd love to, if I could travel somewhere, I would probably travel to Serra da Capivara.
Okay,
At
where is it?
Piauí. At Piauí.
Amazing, amazing. I want to visit Jalapão. I want to visit Jalapão because once I was watching Whindersson Nunes videos and he went there. He went there. And it was amazing. So natural and the water is so clear. So I was like, yo, I want to be there one day, you know?
I know. Well, in Serra da Capivara, we have an archaeology place and some
Yeah,
uh, natural history museum that really interests me. Things
true.
like that, and like there we rewrite the history of humanity and the evolution, and it's really amazing.
It is, it is. I've seen some things about it and it really is. Now we have the last, unfortunately, the last question. If we were in the Joe's show, I bet the audience would be, ah.
Yeah.
because that's how I'm feeling right now. And let me ask you, okay. It's like, how do you see yourself 10, 20 years from now? Or,
Hmm.
or how do you want to see yourself 10, 20 years from now?
Hmm. I really struggle to see this far in future, but I think I'll be like 10 or 20 years older. I really can't think so much.
All right,
I wish I think I will have write other books and
mhm,
maybe published and things like that, but I can't think strongly about the future.
I see, I see. Totally understand, totally understand. Sabrina Alento Mourão. It was just, um, I'm pretty sure that I will remember many things from this conversation. And you made me, or you allowed me to see some things and to put some things in words that before I wasn't able to. And that's one thing that stays with us, right? And that's why it's so important for us to connect with people, to talk with people, to hear people, and give them the mic, give them the opportunity. So I can tell you that you nailed it. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much for inviting me. It was really fun. Uh, I
Amazing.
think the things that stay with you, well, this is when deep communication happens. It changes us, and
It
it's
does.
awesome. That's why I like to find you one time in a million years, and
Yeah.
it's always life changing, and it's good. It doesn't have to be every day, but when it happens in a moving way, and it's
Yes.
awesome.
Right. Like I said, it does things to us. It does things to us, right? So we get home and we are still thinking about that thing, that idea, that specific situation. So, do you want to say something to people, like maybe people who are just knowing you right now, people from 10 years from now who will listen to it, something like that? Do you want to share
Hmm.
something about you, about your
Well,
story, about an advice? I don't know.
hmm. I have a maybe coach thing to say.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
I think it's never too late to learn. I
It's
think learning will um, make you able to make new connections inside of you, outside of you, and the things are really life changing to build a world that you, a meaningful word for yourself. It's really empowering. And sometimes learning a new language is this empowering move that you have to do to yourself to access things that you don't usually access, to learn to see the world with in a different point of view.
That's true.
And
I totally
that
agree.
that's
Totally
it.
agree. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me.
Anytime.